Hey y'all, welcome back to Nini's Texas Kitchen. Today we're going to make English muffins. So if there's a problem with the different sound in the audio today, it's just because we were having problems with our microphone. So I'm just going to try to talk loud, and make sure you go down at the bottom of your YouTube screen and hit that little volume button and turn it all the way up on YouTube, and then you should be able to hear it okay. So for English muffins, the ingredients that you're going to need are 2 3/4 cup of flour. You need 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast, 1 egg, 3/4 cup of milk, and 3 tablespoons of butter. Now, I have allowed my milk and my butter to kind of sit out at room temperature. Your egg also needs to be at room temperature. These are the ingredients that are going to make up the dough for the English muffins themselves. This is just some cornmeal, and I'll use these after I'm ready to shape and cook my English muffins on the stove. The other thing that you'll need is a bowl oiled, so I've already oiled this bowl, and this will be what I'll put my dough in to rise in the oven for an hour once I make it. Also, when you make English muffins, you don't bake them in an oven. You cook them in a hot skillet. Well, actually, over low heat in a skillet that's warmed up. But I'm going to use my iron skillet, but you can use a griddle also. And so when we get to that stage, I'll show you how to do it. So the first step is you want to take your flour and put it in your bowl like so. And I've already got mine in here. I'm using bread flour, but you can use all-purpose flour for this recipe. It's fine. You want to make sure there's a little well in the center of your flour. Then you want to take your salt and put it on one side of the bowl, like so. Take your sugar and put it on the opposite side of the bowl. Put your yeast right with the sugar, right next to it. You want to take your butter, and I've let it get up to room temperature so it's kind of soft, and I'm going to put that in the center. I'm going to put my egg in the center, and then I'm going to take my milk and put that over all that stuff in the center also. Now you can mix it by hand. It's just going to take longer. You want your dough to become smooth and elastic, but I'm going to use my stand mixer for this. So I'm just going to bring it over here and hook it up to my stand mixer. Like so. Pull it out where I can see it. And then you want your dough hook if you have a stand mixer like this, or some other brand of stand mixer. All right. Now I'm going to start it out kind of slow. And then I'll speed it up. And start getting all mixed in. And you let it knead in the stand mixer for about 7 to 10 minutes until the dough is smooth and elastic. And then you let it rise. If you're doing it by hand, it's probably going to take you 10 to 15 minutes of kneading it really well to get it to the smooth, elasticy consistency and texture that you want for the dough. So as you can see, it's starting to come together. I can turn it down just one notch. It doesn't have to be that high. I just want it to start getting together. So we're going to let this go for just, like I said, 7 to 10 minutes, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. We're going to get ready to put it in the oven to rise. All right, y'all, our dough finished. It took about 7 minutes in the stand mixer, and as you can see, it's smooth now. This is kind of a sticky dough, so when you first take it out of your bowl for your stand mixer, it's going to kind of stick a little bit. If you just pat it down pretty good, it'll become like a smooth ball. So now I've got it inside this oiled bowl, and I'm just going to cover it with plastic wrap and put it in my oven to rise for an hour. Now my oven, I have it set on bread proof, so that's just the setting I have. If you don't have that, that's fine. Even if you just stick it in an oven that's turned off, it should be good. And let it rise for an hour. You want it to about double in size, okay? So, I'm just gonna put it in there. And I'll check it in an hour and see that if it's doubled in size, and then we'll come back and show you how to shape them and get ready for the next rise, which is a lot shorter. All right, y'all, our dough rose. It was a little bit over an hour. I did about an hour and 10 minutes just to make sure it doubled in size, so you can see it got a lot bigger. So I have my baking mat. I got one of these because I bake a lot. So if you don't have one, you can just have a clean countertop, it's fine. Sprinkle some flour on there so that you can roll it out and it won't stick. So now I'm just gonna turn my dough out onto my mat, like so. And I'm just gonna make sure it's good like that. I covered my rolling pin in a little bit of flour, and I'm just gonna roll it out. You want to roll out your dough to about an inch thick or so. And then you want to take a 3-inch round cutter like this and cut out what's going to be your English muffins and lay them on cornmeal sprinkled on your parchment paper on a baking sheet. Like so, and you'll just do it, and then once you get it all cut out of the first one, you can roll that dough back up into a ball, roll it back out, and do, a few more of them. And then once we get done with that, we'll put them back in the oven to rise for about 30 minutes, and then we'll cook them on the stovetop. So we'll be back when we're ready to do it. All right, y'all. Now I've got them all cut out and ended up making, looks like 14 or so. So I'm just gonna cover them lightly with some plastic wrap. Doesn't have to, like, you don't want it to necessarily stick to them or anything like that. You just want it to cover them, stick them together. I'll just get out another sheet. And that's just so a skid doesn't form on them and so they can rise properly. So now I'm going to put them back into my proving oven at the proof setting, which is just a rise setting. And I'm going to let them rise for 30 minutes. And then we're going to cook them on top of the stove. So after the 30 minutes, we'll come back and show you how we cook them up on stovetop. All right, y'all, we're back, and I have heated up my iron skillet to where it's hot in the bottom, but you want your temperature to be on a low heat because you don't want to burn them. So what you do is you take like 3 or 4 of them and you put them in your pan. You don't need any oil or anything like that. And what I'm going to do is let them cook like this on this low heat for 5 minutes. Then I'm going to flip them over and do the other side for about 5 to 6 minutes is how long you want to do each side. When you're done with them, I already did a few, this is what you're going to get. They're going to look like little English muffins. And you'll just continue going through until you get all of your muffins baked like that, cooking on both sides. And occasionally in the process of doing this, you want to wipe out the other cornmeal that's in there before you keep going, just to make sure you don't have any cornmeal that gets like over browned stick into your muffins, just because it might leave a burny taste and you don't want that. So that's what they're going to look like, but we'll be back when we're done with all of them. All right, y'all, our English muffins are done, and as you can see, they turned out real good. Nice fullness and browning on top and bottom. So now all that's left to do is to try one. Inside looks good. Nice and fluffy. All right, now I'm gonna try it. Still hot. Those turned out great. They'll be good for toast, breakfast sandwiches. You can even cut them in half and make little mini pizzas out of them. If you like my video, making homemade English muffins, please give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below. Please go and try making these yourself. Also, hit that subscribe button if you haven't hit it. Thank you guys for watching my videos. Please go watch some of my other videos. We'll see y'all next time in Nini's Texas Kitchen.